"Ma'am, show me your boarding pass again," the flight attendant snapped, her tone sharp. She squinted at the ticket, lips pursed. "This needs verification before you can board. Step aside, others need to get on." Her words cut through the bustling terminal, drawing eyes. The attendant's impatience was palpable, as if the passenger's presence was an inconvenience she couldn't tolerate. Dr. Maya Carter, a 42-year-old tech mogul, handed over her boarding pass, her face composed despite the irritation simmering within. "It's correct, seat 1B, she said evenly. A security guard approached, his grip tight on Maya's arm as she tried to clarify. His fingers pressed into her sleek blazer, pulling her from the gate. The crowd watched, some whispering, others ignoring the scene. Passengers exchanged glances, some worried, others unmoved, a few nodding in agreement. Then, in a flash, the terminal's massive screens flickered and went dark. Gate displays froze. The PA system cut off mid-announcement. Chaos erupted as travelers halted, confused. Maya stood firm, her resolve unshaken, while the guard's grip loosened slightly, his confidence wavering in the sudden disruption. Something big was brewing. The terminal descended into pandemonium. Passengers stopped mid-stride, staring at blank screens. Airline staff gaped at lifeless computers. Gate 42A was a mess. Shouts echoed, luggage cluttered the floor, and staff struggled to restore order. This wasn't just a delay, it was a crisis. Maya's calm presence contrasted with the frenzy, her mind already calculating the next move in this unfolding drama. This wasn't typical airport frustration. A larger story was unfolding, one of retribution. Maya, underestimated and barred from boarding, was about to reveal her true power, making the airline regret its mistake. Have you faced airport discrimination? Share below. This tale of justice is just beginning, exposing a system that wronged the wrong woman. Subscribe if you stand against prejudice. If you fight injustice, hit subscribe and comment fairness with your location. Who is Dr. Maya Carter, and how did she gain the power to cripple an airline? Her rise from nothing to a tech titan is remarkable. Born to a single mother working multiple jobs, Maya's journey was one of grit and brilliance, defying all odds. Unlike privileged tech leaders, Maya, now 42, grew up in a struggling neighborhood. Her mother juggled 3 jobs to survive. At 15, Maya fixed electronics, teaching herself coding on a donated laptop. By 16, she repaired computers for local shops, easing her family's financial strain. Her talent was undeniable, but barriers loomed. Top colleges waitlisted her despite flawless test scores. Maya's coding wasn't a pastime, it was survival. At 18, she earned enough to cover rent. College at Stanford, on partial scholarship, meant working 2 jobs alongside studies. After graduating, her first tech role saw less qualified peers promoted over her. When her algorithm saved millions, her boss claimed credit. Speaking out branded her difficult, but Maya persevered, undeterred. Undaunted, Maya built her own path. At 27, she risked everything to launch Horizon Innovations. Her first office, a tiny apartment, her team, 4 graduates working for equity. 15 years later, Horizon employed 6,000 globally with $1.5 billion in profits. Maya wasn't just successful, she reshaped an industry. That morning, she prepared for a pivotal deal in Hong Kong. In her Manhattan penthouse, Maya packed light for the Global Tech Summit. Her keynote would secure a $600 million investment from a Hong Kong fund, fueling Horizon's boldest project. Traveling solo, she valued the 18-hour flight for reflection. Dressed in tailored slacks, a silk shirt, and a blazer, Her only indulgence was custom leather flats, understated but elegant. Unbeknownst to Maya, her trip would collide with Edward Thornton, 65, CEO of Starwing Airlines. Once a symbol of luxury, Starwing was crumbling under Thornton's mismanagement. His family's legacy airline, built on prestige, now reeked of elitism. With polished gray hair and designer suits, Thornton looked the part, but his leadership was driving Starwing toward collapse. Maya's driver dropped her at LaGuardia's Terminal C. Tipping generously, she entered, unaware her routine trip was about to spiral. Having flown first class countless times, she headed to the premium check-in, expecting efficiency, but a gate agent stopped her. "Economy's that way," he said, pointing to a crowded line, dismissing her without a glance. Maya paused, then calmly replied, "I'm in first class to Hong Kong." She showed her digital boarding pass. The agent barely looked. "Economy's over there," he repeated, irritation clear. The slight stung, a microaggression many wouldn't notice. Maya didn't argue. She approached the premium counter where another agent processed her check-in, though with a skeptical double-check. With her suitcase checked, Maya headed to security, her designer carry-on in tow. The premium lane was empty, a first-class perk, but a TSA agent redirected her. "Random check, ma'am, enhanced screening." She noticed white passengers breeze through while every person in the random line was a person of color. The pat-down was invasive, the agent's hands lingering unnecessarily. Humiliation burned, but Maya stayed composed. Anger would only worsen things. Post-screening, she realized her $50,000 custom Rolex, a gift to herself after Horizon's IPO, was missing. "My watch isn't here," she told the TSA agent. He shrugged. "If it was, it'd be here." Maya insisted she'd placed it in the bin, sparking a tense standoff. After 20 minutes of arguing and threatening legal action, a supervisor found the watch in a different bin. Maya reached gate 42A as boarding began. First-class passengers usually boarded first, but as she approached the priority lane, Agent Sarah Miller eyed her suspiciously. "This is for first class only," she said, her tone dripping with doubt. "I'm in 1B, Maya replied, showing her pass. Sarah scrutinized it like a forged document, then muttered into a phone, glancing at Maya. Passengers nearby noticed. A supervisor, James Caldwell, 55, approached, his face stern. "What's the issue?" he asked Sarah, ignoring Maya. "She claims she's first class," Sarah said, her skepticism obvious, as if Maya's presence was a mistake. James took the pass, eyeing Maya's polished attire. "Ma'am, first-class tickets are costly on international flights," he said, the implication clear. Snickers came from nearby passengers. Maya's expression stayed neutral. "Verify it," she said. James demanded her passport, credit card, and company authorization, requirements not asked of others. The harassment was blatant, disguised as procedure. Passengers recorded the exchange. One woman muttered, "Just show your ID." Maya provided her passport and card but refused the unauthorized document. "Step aside," James ordered. "We need to verify." Escorted to a service desk, Maya was told it'd take a few minutes. The delay stretched, her rightful boarding slipping away as the gate hummed with activity. Minutes became 30, then an hour. Maya sat, watching her gate from afar. No updates, just vague, "We're working on it" responses. She saw her flight's final call, the jet bridge door closing. Starwing staff nearby laughed, their words drifting. "Thinks she's first class, probably her first flight." Each jab fueled her resolve, her mind sharpening for what was to come. The jet bridge retracted, Her plane taxied away. James returned, voice flat. Your flight left while we verified you missed boarding. Maya's tone was steel. I missed it because you detained me on false grounds. James ignored her. Next flight's in 6 hours, economy only. The downgrade was a final slap, pocketing her first-class fare. Maya demanded to see the system. Show me the booking, Maya said, standing firm. I want the first-class manifest. James hesitated, then turned the monitor. Maya saw 4 open first-class seats. You're lying, she said. Those seats are available. James yanked the screen back. They're reserved for operations. What operations? Maya pressed. Discriminatory ones? Her voice carried, drawing passenger attention. Phones out, recording. James's face reddened. Lower your voice, ma'am. Maya stood taller. I won't be silenced for being targeted. The crowd grew, some hostile, others curious. James signaled security. 2 guards approached. One grabbed Maya's arm roughly. Come with us, he growled. Let go, Maya said, voice steady. I've done nothing wrong. The guard's grip tightened, pulling her papers scattering. As Maya bent to gather her things, she spotted Edward Thornton watching smugly. His tailored suit and air of superiority marked him as Starwing's CEO. He muttered to an aide, Some don't know their place. The words seared into Maya's mind. Her phone rang. Her COO, Liam Patel. This call, she knew, would shift everything. What would you do in her shoes? Maya stepped aside, ignoring the guard's glares. Liam, she answered, voice crisp. What's the update? The guards didn't know, nor did Thornton, that this call would unravel Starwing. Liam's news was urgent. A $4 billion corporate travel contract was at stake. Maya's flight was to evaluate Starwing's service, a test they'd failed spectacularly. She made her first move, eyes locked on Thornton. Remove Starwing from the contract shortlist, Maya told Liam. Recommend Cathay Pacific instead. Liam added, The market's jittery about our Starwing shares. Maya controlled 25% of Starwing's stock, the largest block, dwarfing Thornton's family holdings. Her next steps could tank the airline's value. The guards shifted, sensing the situation escalating beyond their control as Maya's plan took shape. Liam continued, The Hong Kong summit's about our $600 million deal in acquiring Skypulse Airways, Starwing's rival. Maya's mind raced, strategizing. Call an emergency Starwing board meeting today, she said. Cite discrimination and legal risks. She hung up, dialing her CFO, then legal team, each call under 30 seconds, setting her counterattack in motion. Thornton, oblivious, argued with staff nearby. Thornton's voice rose, demanding Maya's removal. She's disruptive, he barked to an airport cop. Passengers chimed in, some hostile. Get her out, one yelled. She's delaying us, a man shouted. Fly with your own kind. The racism stunned some who stepped back. The cop hesitated, recognizing Maya. Dr. Carter, from Horizon? He asked, recalling a Forbes feature. The officer, David Reese, softened. My son admires you. He's studying tech because of you. He positioned himself protectively. Maya nodded, grateful for the shift. Across the terminal, screens flickered, showing financial news. Starwing stock plunges amid shareholder sell-off rumors. Passengers murmured, checking phones. Thornton's phone rang repeatedly, his face paling as he sensed the crisis deepening around him. Maya's team arrived. Her assistant, Rachel Nguyen, 32, led 4 lawyers, their presence commanding. Rachel handed Maya a portfolio. Boards notified, meetings in 40 minutes. Maya reviewed Starwing's anti-discrimination policies, her resolve hardening. She marched back to Gate 42A, lawyers flanking her. Officer Reese didn't intervene. Guards stood frozen. Passengers parted, sensing history unfolding, phones capturing every step. The PA system crackled. All Starwing flights grounded due to administrative action. Chaos surged. Passengers mobbed desks, demanding answers. Thornton, on his phone, looked horrified, realizing Maya's influence. Sarah, the gate agent, pointed at Maya. "She caused this," James echoed. "Her disruption stopped our operations." The crowd turned, blaming Maya, their anger misdirected. Officer Reese stayed close, tension mounting. Maya climbed onto a chair, voice steady. "I'm Dr. Maya Carter, CEO of Horizon Innovations." The crowd hushed, some Googling her name, eyes widening. "I was denied boarding, not for my actions, but my appearance. This happens daily to people like me. Today, they targeted someone who can fight back." Thornton arrived, stunned, as media crews pushed in, cameras rolling. Thornton tried to block the press. "No media here," Officer Reese countered. "This is public space," Maya continued. Starwing showed its true face today. She revealed, "I own 25% of their stock, the largest share." Gasps rippled. Thornton's forced smile faded. "This is a misunderstanding," he said, voice shaky. Maya's gaze was unflinching. "This is systemic bias, Mr. Thornton." The reckoning had begun. Dr. Maya Carter stood tall on the chair, addressing the crowd. "Starwing's culture of bias isn't just wrong. It's unsustainable." She held up a tablet. "For months, my team documented their discriminatory practices." The crowd leaned in, phones recording. Edward Thornton, Starwing's CEO, pushed forward, his face a mask of forced calm. "Dr. Carter, let's resolve this privately," he urged, voice loud for the cameras. Maya didn't waver. "This isn't private, Mr. Thornton," Maya replied. "It's systemic." She swiped the tablet, revealing data. "Our undercover travelers, diverse in race, faith, background, faced unequal treatment on your flights." Thornton's eyes darted to the media, his composure cracking. Passengers murmured, some shocked, others nodding as memories of their own mistreatment surfaced. The terminal felt electric, the weight of Maya's words shifting the narrative. Thornton tried again. "We have strict anti-bias policies." Maya cut him off. "Policies you ignore." She showed emails from Thornton dismissing diversity training as unnecessary. The crowd gasped. A reporter shouted, "Is this true, Mr. Thornton?" His silence was deafening. Maya's evidence was airtight. Dates, incidents, photos. Starwing's facade was crumbling, and Thornton knew it. The media frenzy intensified, cameras zooming in. A passenger, a black woman in her 50s, stepped forward. "I've flown Starwing for years, always randomly searched." A Latino man added, "They moved me from my seat for a white passenger's comfort." Stories poured out, each one a thread in a tapestry of bias. Maya listened, giving space to their pain. Thornton's face paled. He hadn't expected this public unraveling. The crowd's anger turned toward him. Maya addressed the growing audience. "Starwing's lost business for years because it clings to outdated biases." She faced Thornton. "I was evaluating your airline for a $4 billion travel contract. I also considered acquiring Starwing for Horizon's transport division." Thornton's jaw dropped. The deals were his lifeline. "But your actions today disqualify you," Maya said. Social media exploded. #Starwing. Reckoning trending globally as live streams surged. Thornton stammered, "Dr. Carter, we can offer our private jet to Hong Kong." Maya's gaze was steel. "This isn't about a flight. It's about a culture you've built on exclusion." She quoted his earlier words. "Some don't know their place." Thornton froze, stunned she'd heard. "I've listened to your passengers, your staff," Maya said. "They deserve better." The crowd cheered, sensing justice unfolding. 3 Starwing board members arrived, faces grim. Alerted to the crisis, they approached Maya. "Dr. Carter, we take this seriously," said Board Chair Laura Bennett. "We request an emergency meeting now." Maya nodded. "I called for 1 hour ago." The group moved to a secured lounge, Thornton trailing, his confidence shattered. Cameras followed, capturing his defeated stride, a stark contrast to his earlier arrogance. In the lounge, cleared for privacy, board members gathered, some in person, others via video. Maya's legal team presented damning evidence: Thornton's emails, discriminatory patterns, ex-employee testimonies. Thornton's breathing grew shallow, sweat on his brow. Maya detailed how bias cost Starwing major contracts. The directors exchanged uneasy glances, realizing the depth of their company's failures. Thornton's legacy was collapsing before their eyes. Halfway through, Thornton clutched his chest, gasping. I can't." He slumped in his chair. Panic erupted. "Get a doctor!" a director shouted. Maya took charge. "Call paramedics," she ordered, loosening Thornton's tie and easing him to the floor. Despite everything, she ensured his care, her compassion stark against his prejudice. Paramedics arrived, diagnosing a stress-induced episode, not a heart attack. Thornton was wheeled out, his eyes meeting Maya's, a flicker of shock at her kindness. The board reconvened, now in crisis mode. After 20 minutes, Bennett announced, "Mr. Thornton is suspended pending investigation. An interim CEO will be appointed externally." They formed a committee to probe bias, requesting Maya's data. The room felt heavy with the weight of change. Bennett addressed Maya. "We can't erase today's harm, but we'll ensure it never repeats. We'd value your input." Maya's response was firm. "Change demands more than words. It needs new leadership, new values. I'll watch if Starwing delivers." She exited with her team, the terminal now quiet. Passengers nodded respectfully, some approaching to thank her, their earlier hostility replaced by awe. Outside, media swarmed, capturing Maya's poised exit. The confrontation had sparked a movement. Gate 42. A was no longer just a gate. It was the epicenter of the number Starwing reckoning. Passengers shared stories online, amplifying Maya's stand. Starwing's stock continued to plummet, analysts citing leadership failures. Maya's phone buzzed, her PR team reporting global support. She prepared for the next phase. Back at the gate, Sarah Miller, the agent who'd challenged Maya, faced scrutiny. Passengers now questioned her actions, some demanding her dismissal. Sarah deflected. "She disrupted our process." But the narrative had shifted. Her role in the incident was undeniable. Maya, meanwhile, coordinated with her team, ensuring their Hong Kong summit plan stayed on track despite the day's chaos. Her focus was unbreakable. Maya's COO, Liam, called again. "The Hong Kong fund needs our contract decision by dawn." Maya's flight was meant to finalize Starwing's evaluation, but their failure was clear. "Cathay Pacific gets the contract," she confirmed. Liam added, "Our Starwing shares are spooking investors." Maya's 25% stake gave her unmatched leverage. She instructed, "Prepare to divest strategically." The airline's fate was sealed. Maya's legal team compiled more evidence for the board meeting. Passenger videos from the terminal were already viral, hashtags like #JusticeForMaya trending. The racist remarks from earlier, "Fly with your own kind," circulated widely, shaming the speakers. Maya's stand resonated globally, inspiring others to share their stories of airline discrimination. The terminal's screens still flashed financial warnings, Starwing's collapse unfolding in real time. Officer David Reese remained nearby, ensuring Maya's safety. His earlier recognition had shifted the dynamic, giving her space to act. Passengers who'd supported Thornton now avoided eye contact, their bias exposed. Maya's team prepared for the Hong Kong keynote, where she'd announced the $600 million deal and Skypulse acquisition. Each move was calculated to maximize impact, both for justice and business. Thornton, now at the hospital, watched news of Starwing's crisis. His silence suggested a dawning realization. Maya's team leaked select evidence to media, fueling public outrage. Starwing's customer service lines were overwhelmed, passengers demanding refunds. The board's suspension of Thornton was trending, but Maya knew real change required more. She instructed her lawyers to monitor Starwing's next steps closely. Liam called with urgent news. "The market's panicking. Our Starwing shares could crash the stock if we sell." Maya's 25% gave her power to reshape the airline's future. "Hold for now," she said, "but activate Plan Omega." This strategy, crafted years ago, countered discrimination threatening her operations. It was her blueprint for accountability, blending legal, financial, and public pressure to force reform. Plan Omega targeted Starwing's vulnerabilities. Maya directed Liam to engage their voting shares for the board meeting. "Cite bias and legal risks," she said. Her team contacted regulators, hinting at civil rights probes. Media amplified the story, with analysts predicting Starwing's bankruptcy if reforms failed. Maya's calm precision contrasted with the airline's chaos, her every move calculated to expose and dismantle their flawed system. Passengers at Gate 42. I began dispersing, but the energy remained charged. Some approached Maya, sharing their own stories of mistreatment. A young black man said, "They searched my bag 3 times last week." Maya listened, validating their experiences. Her presence had sparked a movement, empowering others to speak. Social media buzzed with support, her keynote now anticipated as a defining moment. Thornton's aides scrambled, their phones flooded with investor calls. Starwing's executives, caught off guard, huddled in panic. Maya's team prepared a press release, framing the incident as a call for industry-wide change. The Hong Kong summit loomed, its stakes higher than ever. Maya's acquisition of Skypulse would shift market dynamics, positioning Horizon as a transport powerhouse while Starwing floundered. A new group arrived, Starwing's PR team, led by a flustered executive, Claire Evans. They approached Maya, offering immediate compensation and a first-class seat. Maya declined. "This isn't about me, it's about your passengers." Claire's forced smile faded. The PR stunt failed as cameras captured Maya's resolve. Passengers cheered, sensing her refusal wasn't just personal, but a stand for systemic reform. Maya's phone buzzed. Her CFO reported shareholder unrest. "Investors want answers about our Starwing stake," Maya instructed. "Signal a potential sell-off if reforms stall." Her 25% stake was a sword over Starwing's board. The terminal's screens flashed updates. Starwing faces shareholder revolt. The crowd grew restless, some chanting, "Justice!" Maya's influence was undeniable, her strategy unraveling Starwing's power structure piece by piece. Officer Reese received a radio call but stayed near Maya, his loyalty clear. Passengers who'd recorded the racist comments earlier shared their videos online, identifying the culprits. The backlash was swift, with employers of the offenders issuing statements. Maya's team coordinated with influencers, amplifying the story. The number sign Starwing Reckoning hashtag hit millions of views, making Maya's stand a global rallying cry against bias. Maya called her PR head, Maya instructed, frame this as a wake-up call for airlines. Her legal team prepared lawsuits, targeting Starwing's leadership. The board meeting loomed, its outcome pivotal. Thornton's absence left a vacuum, his allies scrambling. Maya's team leaked more evidence, internal memos ignoring bias complaints. The terminal buzzed with anticipation, passengers sensing a historic shift unfolding before them. Across the terminal, Starwing staff whispered nervously, their chain of command in disarray. Maya's lawyers drafted demands for the board, new leadership, mandatory training, and passenger protections. Her team's efficiency was surgical, each move amplifying pressure. Passengers began chanting Maya's name, their support drowning out earlier hostility. The media captured it all, framing her as a catalyst for change in a flawed industry. Maya's assistant, Rachel, updated her. The board's ready to negotiate. Maya nodded, preparing to enter the lounge. Her team flanked her, their presence a silent warning to Starwing's board. The terminal's screens showed stock tickers plunging further. Passengers watched, phones out, as Maya walked toward the lounge, her every step a testament to resilience. The battle for justice was far from over. Officer David Reese subtly shielded Dr. Maya Carter from the crowd's lingering tension. The terminal's screens flashed. Starwing stock plummets amid discrimination scandal. Passengers pointed, whispering, as financial apps confirmed the crash. Edward Thornton, still on his phone, paced frantically, his earlier bravado gone. Maya's team had executed Plan Omega flawlessly, leaking evidence to media. The number sign Starwing Reckoning hashtag surged, uniting voices against bias. The terminal buzzed with anticipation. Financial analysts on terminal TVs speculated wildly. Reports of systemic bias could cripple Starwing legally, one said. Passengers checked stocks, murmuring about sell-offs. Maya's 25% stake loomed large, her influence undeniable. Thornton's calls grew desperate, his face ashen. Starwing staff exchanged panicked glances, sensing their jobs at risk. Maya stood calm, her team coordinating with media to amplify the story, ensuring the world saw Starwing's failures exposed. A new group stormed the terminal, Starwing's crisis team led by Rachel Nguyen, Maya's assistant. Rachel handed Maya a dossier. Boards assembling now. Behind her, Horizon's lawyers marched in, their presence commanding. Maya reviewed the file, Starwing's own bias policies ignored for years. She headed to Gate 42A, her team a fortress around her. Passengers parted, phones out, recording a moment that felt historic. The PA system blared, all Starwing flights remain grounded. Stand by for updates. Fury erupted. Passengers mobbed desks, demanding answers. Thornton, cornered by his own staff, looked defeated. Maya's team had frozen Starwing's operations, a calculated blow. Rachel whispered, "Social media's with you, millions watching." Maya nodded, her resolve unshaken. The terminal was no longer just an airport. It was ground zero for a corporate reckoning. At Gate 42A, Sarah Miller, the gate agent, pointed at Maya. "She's why your flights are canceled." James Caldwell, the supervisor, piled on. "Her refusal to comply caused this chaos." The crowd turned, some shouting at Maya. Officer Reese stepped closer, sensing danger. Maya's lawyers flanked her, unfazed. The blame game was Starwing's desperate move, but Maya was ready to flip the narrative. Maya climbed onto a bench, her voice cutting through the noise. "I'm Dr. Maya Carter, CEO of Horizon Innovations." The crowd stilled, some Googling her, jaws dropping. "I was denied boarding because of how I look, not what I did. This isn't new. It happens daily to people like me. Today, Starwing targeted someone who can demand justice." Her words resonated, shifting the crowd's anger. Edward Thornton arrived, breathless, stunned to see Maya commanding the gate. He'd expected to control the narrative. A Starwing executive whispered urgently, Thornton's face twisting from rage to fear as he grasped Maya's power. Media crews swarmed, tipped off about the escalating drama. Cameras rolled, capturing every word. Thornton tried to block them. "This is private," he barked, but the press pushed closer, undeterred. Officer Reese intervened. "This is a public terminal, sir. Media stays." Thornton's frustration boiled over, his authority slipping. Maya continued, "Starwing's bias isn't just my story, it's yours too." She gestured to the crowd. "How many of you have been unfairly treated?" Hands rose, voices murmured. The terminal felt alive, passengers connecting their experiences to Maya's stand. Social media amplified her words globally. Maya faced the cameras. "Starwing's shown its true face, not just to me, but to the world." She dropped a bombshell. "I control 25% of their stock, the largest share." Gasps echoed. Thornton's forced smile vanished. "This was no misunderstanding," Maya said. "It's a culture of exclusion you've built." Passengers who'd blamed her now shifted uncomfortably, their hostility fading as truth sank in. Thornton pushed through, voice strained. "Dr. Carter, I apologize for any inconvenience. Let's fix this." His words rang hollow, a desperate PR move. Maya's gaze was unflinching. "This isn't about inconvenience, Mr. Thornton. It's about systemic bias you've nurtured." She nodded to Rachel, who handed her the tablet. "We've tracked Starwing's discriminatory acts for months. The evidence is undeniable." The crowd leaned in, riveted. Maya displayed the tablet. Dozens of incidents, dates, photos, testimonies. Our testers, diverse in every way, faced unequal treatment. Thornton's face drained of color. A reporter yelled, "Can you confirm this?" He stammered, cornered. Maya's data was a legal landmine, actionable, devastating. Cameras zoomed in, capturing Thornton's panic. Passengers whispered, some pulling out phones to share the moment. The reckoning was unstoppable. A black woman, about 60, spoke up. "Starwings searched me every flight for 10 years. An Asian man added, "They switched my seat for a white passenger's comfort." Stories flooded out, each a wound laid bare. Maya listened, her presence validating their pain. Thornton shifted, uncomfortable, as passengers exposed his airline's culture. The media captured every testimony, broadcasting Starwing's failures to millions. Passengers who'd hurled racist slurs earlier slunk away, hoping to vanish. But their words, "Fly with your own kind," were already viral, shared across platforms. Online outrage targeted them, their identities exposed. Maya let each speaker finish, her silence amplifying their voices. The terminal transformed into a stage for truth, with Maya as its unwavering conductor, guiding the narrative toward justice. Maya addressed the global audience via live streams. "Bias isn't just wrong, it's bad for business." Starwings lost market share for years, ignoring a changing world. She faced Thornton. "I evaluated you for a $4 billion contract and considered acquisition, but your actions today prove you're unfit." Thornton looked faint, the deal's his airline's salvation now dust. The crowd roared, sensing a historic shift. Social media erupted. Your Starwing, Reckoning hit millions of views. Live streams drew hundreds of thousands, watching Starwings collapse in real time. Thornton's team scrambled, but their spin couldn't counter Maya's evidence. Passengers chanted, "Justice," their voices drowning out Starwing's excuses. Maya's keynote in Hong Kong, now days away, was poised to redefine her legacy and the airline industry's future. 3 board members approached, faces ashen. "Dr. Carter, we need an emergency meeting," said Laura Bennett. "We're addressing this now." Maya nodded. "I demanded 1 hour ago." They moved to the lounge, Thornton trailing like a defeated general. Cameras tracked his slumped posture, a stark contrast to his earlier swagger. The board knew their company's survival hung by a thread. In the lounge, directors assembled, some physically, others on screens. Maya's team laid out evidence. Thornton's emails dismissing inclusion, data on biased treatment, whistleblower accounts. Thornton's breathing grew ragged, his tie loosened. Maya highlighted lost contracts due to bias. Directors shifted uncomfortably, the scale of Starwing's failures undeniable. Thornton's legacy unraveled, his airline teetering on the edge of collapse. As Maya detailed a $200 million contract lost to bias, Thornton gasped, clutching his chest. I can't breathe," he muttered, collapsing. Chaos erupted. "Call a doctor," a director yelled. Maya acted swiftly, ordering, "Get paramedics." She eased Thornton to the floor, loosening his collar. Her compassion, despite his actions, stunned the room. Paramedics arrived, diagnosing severe stress, not a heart attack. Thornton was stretchered out, his eyes meeting Maya's, a mix of shame and shock. The board paused, then reconvened. Bennett announced, "Mr. Thornton suspended immediately. An external CEO will lead temporarily." They formed a reform committee, requesting Maya's data. The directors' faces showed resolve, but Maya knew words weren't enough. Real change required action, and she'd hold them accountable. Bennett faced Maya. "We can't undo today, but we'll prevent it moving forward. Your guidance is welcome." Maya's reply was steady. "Change needs new culture, not just promises. I'll monitor your commitment." She left with her team, the lounge silent. Outside, passengers applauded, some shaking her hand. The terminal's mood had shifted. Respect replaced rage, Maya's stand inspiring hope. Media swarmed, capturing Maya's exit. Gate 42. It had become a symbol of reckoning. Passengers shared stories online, fueling the movement. Starwing's stock hit historic lows, analysts citing cultural rot. Maya's team prepared for Hong Kong, where her keynote would seal the $600 million deal and Skypulse acquisition. Each move was strategic, blending justice with business, reshaping an industry. Back at the gate, Sarah and James faced backlash. Passengers demanded their firing, their roles in Maya's mistreatment clear. Sarah deflected. She caused the delays, but few bought it. Maya's evidence had shifted perceptions. Her team leaked more data, internal memos ignoring complaints. Social media amplified the outrage, with the hashtag Justice for Maya trending globally. Starwing's crisis deepened, its future uncertain. Thornton, now hospitalized, watched the news, his silence telling. Sources said he'd muttered she was right, though to whom was unclear. Maya's team coordinated with regulators, hinting at federal probes. The terminal's screen showed analysts predicting Starwing's bankruptcy without drastic reform. Passengers lingered, discussing Maya's stand, their phones buzzing with updates. The reckoning was now a global conversation. Maya's COO, Liam, called, Hong Kong's fund is pressing for our contract decision. Maya reiterated, Cathay Pacific, not Starwing. Liam added, our shares are spooking markets. Maya's 25% stake gave her leverage to force change or sink Starwing. Execute Plan Omega's next phase, she said. Her strategy was surgical. Legal pressure, public exposure, financial moves, all aimed at dismantling Starwing's biased culture. Passengers approached Maya, sharing stories. A young Latina said, they profiled me last month. An elderly black man added, always extra searches. Their voices strengthened the movement. Maya's team compiled these accounts, building a case for systemic reform. The terminal felt like a rally, with passengers chanting her name. Media captured the unity, framing Maya as a catalyst for change. Starwing's PR team tried damage control, offering Maya a VIP package. She refused. This is about your passengers, not me. The gesture fell flat, cameras catching the flop. Passengers cheered her integrity. Social media buzzed with support, her Hong Kong keynote now a global event. Starwing's board faced mounting pressure, their every move scrutinized by investors and the public. The terminal's screens flashed. Starwing faces lawsuits over bias. Maya's legal team had filed initial claims, targeting leadership. Passengers shared viral videos of the racist comments, shaming the culprits. Online platforms banned the offenders, their employers issuing apologies. Maya's stand empowered others, with Starwing reckoning posts flooding feeds. The movement was unstoppable, reshaping how airlines viewed accountability. Maya's team prepared for the board meeting, now minutes away. Rachel updated her. Directors are rattled. They know the stakes. Maya nodded, reviewing the dossier. Her evidence was a sledgehammer. Emails, stats, testimonies. Starwing's culture was laid bare. Passengers watched, sensing history. The terminal's energy was electric. Maya's presence a beacon. She entered the lounge, ready to force lasting change. In the lounge, directors faced Maya's team. She presented methodically. Your policies are ink on paper, ignored in practice. She showed Thornton's emails mocking diversity, stats on unequal treatment, and employee accounts of bias directives. Directors squirmed, the truth inescapable. Maya's data wasn't just damning, it was a blueprint for lawsuits. The room felt suffocating. Starwing's failures exposed under her relentless clarity. Maya continued, your bias cost Starwing $300 million in contracts last year. She listed clients who'd left, citing discrimination. Directors exchanged grim looks, the financial toll sinking in. Thornton's absence left a void. His allies couldn't defend him. Maya's team projected legal risks. Class action suits are forming. The board saw their empire crumbling. Maya's evidence a mirror to their complicity. A director tried to interrupt. Dr. Carter, let's negotiate privately. Maya shut it down. This is public. Your passengers deserve transparency. She showed more data, incidents across Starwing's hubs. The media, still outside, broadcast snippets, amplifying the stakes. Passengers chanted outside the lounge, their voices audible. Maya's stand wasn't just hers. It was for every person Starwing had wronged. Maya faced the board. You ignored diversity as a PR stunt. You built exclusion, not inclusion. She quoted Thornton's, some don't know their place, again, the words a gut punch. Directors looked down, ashamed. Passengers' stories from the gate echoed in the room, their pain now central. Maya's evidence was a tidal wave, sweeping away Starwing's defenses. The board was cornered. Rachel handed Maya a new report. 6 months of passenger complaints buried by Starwing. Maya displayed it, hundreds of ignored cases. "This is your legacy," she told the board. Passengers outside cheered, their voices shaking the lounge. Media streamed the confrontation, millions watching. Starwing's reckoning wasn't just Maya's victory. It was a call for every airline to face their biases. The fight was far from over. A black woman in her 50s stepped forward, voice trembling. "Starwings profiled me for years. Every flight, extra checks." A South Asian man added, "They moved my seat for a white passenger's comfort last week." Passengers shared stories, each exposing Starwing's bias. Dr. Maya Carter listened, her presence amplifying their voices. The media broadcast their pain, millions watching. Thornton's legacy unraveled as the crowd united against Starwing's culture. Passengers who'd shouted racist slurs, like "fly with your own kind," tried to slip away. Their words, caught on video, were viral, their faces plastered online. Employers issued statements, distancing themselves. Maya let each speaker finish, her silence a powerful validation. The terminal became a platform for truth, with hashtag Starwing Reckoning trending globally. Passengers' stories fueled a movement, demanding accountability from airlines everywhere. Maya addressed the live-streamed audience. "Bias isn't just immoral, it's a business failure. Starwings lost millions ignoring diversity." She faced the board in the lounge. "I evaluated you for a $4 billion contract and acquisition. Your actions disqualify you." Edward Thornton, watching from the hospital, looked broken. The deals were Starwing's lifeline, now gone. The crowd roared, sensing a seismic shift in power. Social media exploded. Starwing Reckoning hit 10 million views. Live streams drew global audiences, watching Starwing's collapse unfold. Passengers chanted "Justice" outside the lounge, their voices shaking the walls. Maya's Hong Kong keynote, days away, was now a cultural milestone. Her team prepared to announce the $600 million deal and Skypulse acquisition, moves that would reshape aviation. Starwing's board faced a reckoning they couldn't escape. Inside the lounge, Maya's team presented more evidence, ignored complaints, skewed hiring, biased training. Directors squirmed, the scope of their failure clear. Maya said, "Your culture cost you $400 million in contracts." The board saw lawsuits looming, class actions, federal probes. Thornton's emails, mocking inclusion, were projected, damning him. Passengers' stories echoed outside, amplifying the pressure. Starwing's empire was crumbling under Maya's relentless truth. A director pleaded, "Let's settle this privately, Dr. Carter." Maya shut it down. "Your passengers deserve openness." She showed data from 20 hubs, consistent bias patterns. Media streamed snippets, fueling outrage. The board's silence was telling. They knew reform was inevitable. Passengers outside chanted Maya's name, their unity a force. Her stand wasn't just personal. It was a call for systemic change across industries. Maya quoted Thornton's words, "Some don't know their place." The board flinched, ashamed. "This is your culture," she said, showing buried complaints, hundreds of cases. The lounge felt suffocating. Starwing's sins laid bare. Passengers' voices outside grew louder, a chorus for justice. Media captured the moment, millions watching. Maya's evidence was a tidal wave, forcing the board to confront their complicity. The board chair, Laura Bennett, spoke. "Dr. Carter, we're forming a reform committee. Please share your data." Maya nodded. "I'll share, but change requires action, not promises." She exited, her team in step. Passengers applauded, some tearfully thanking her. The terminal's mood had transformed. Anger became hope. Media swarmed, framing Maya as a catalyst for corporate accountability. Starwing's stock hit rock bottom. Gate 42. A was now a symbol of change. Passengers shared stories online, amplifying the movement. Starwing's customer service collapsed under refund demands. Maya's team leaked more evidence, executive memos ignoring bias. Justice for Maya trended, inspiring global protests. Her Hong Kong keynote loomed, its stakes massive. The Skypulse acquisition would shift markets, while the Starwing floundered, its leadership exposed as fatally flawed. Thornton, recovering in the hospital, watched the crisis unfold. Sources said he whispered, "She was right," perhaps about Maya. His silence marked a shift. No defense, just reflection. Maya's team coordinated with regulators, pushing for probes. Terminal screens flashed. Starwing faces bankruptcy risk. Passengers discussed the fallout, their phones buzzing with updates. Maya's stand had sparked a global reckoning for airlines. A week later, Manhattan's Grand Ballroom hosted a press conference. Starwing's interim chair, Dr. Elena Morales, the first Latina in the role, faced a packed room. "We're suspending all operations immediately," she announced. The move stunned the industry. 260 planes grounded, 22,000 staff on leave. The cost? $40 million daily. Morales said, "We must rebuild from the ground up." The room fell silent, absorbing the historic decision. Morales continued, "Starwing's bias was structural, baked into our core. Superficial fixes won't do." Cameras panned to board members, their faces grim. The audit revealed horrors: systemic profiling, ignored complaints, toxic leadership. Starwing's terminals worldwide became ghost towns. Check-in kiosks blinked unavailable. At JFK, planes were towed to storage, their logos fading like relics. The industry watched, stunned, as Starwing voluntarily halted, a first in aviation history. Passengers at LaGuardia shared mixed reactions. Some praised the shutdown, others fumed over disruptions. Social media buzzed with #Starwing Reckoning, supporters hailing Maya's impact. Starwing's stock was worthless, investors fleeing. Maya's team prepared for Hong Kong, where her keynote would cement her legacy. The Skypulse deal would reshape aviation, while Starwing's suspension signaled a new era. The terminal felt like a turning point. In a CNN interview, Sarah Miller, the gate agent, broke down. "I never questioned Starwing's practices," she sobbed. "We were told to prioritize comfort, but it was profiling." She joined a reform committee, vowing change. Her remorse resonated, humanizing the crisis. Passengers shared her clip, sparking debates. Maya's stand had forced even complicit staff to reflect, a ripple effect no one expected. At the hospital, Thornton watched Morales' announcement, his face unreadable. A nurse overheard him murmur, "I failed them," perhaps meaning passengers. His volunteering with youth programs hinted at redemption, but his career was over. Maya's team pushed regulators citing violations. Terminal screens showed analysts. Starwing's collapse is a warning to airlines. The industry braced for scrutiny, Maya's influence undeniable. 2 weeks later, auditors released findings, worse than feared. Starwing's bias was deliberate. Training manuals coded profiling as security. Executives buried complaints to protect profits. The report sparked outrage, with lawsuits piling up. Maya's team shared data, fueling the fire. Passengers rallied online, demanding reform. Starwing's competitors scrambled, fearing similar audits. The terminal's screens flashed, aviation faces reckoning. Maya's stand had ignited an industry-wide purge. United launched a bias review. Delta formed an oversight board. American mandated training. Analyst Maria Lopez said, "Maya's exposed what airlines ignored for decades." Regulators pushed new rules, requiring demographic data on passenger treatment. Insurance firms offered discounts for anti-bias programs. LaGuardia's Gate 42A, where it began, was under renovation, teasing a new way to fly. The industry was transforming, driven by one woman's courage. Gate 42A's overhaul included prayer rooms, accessible signage, and diverse art. Workers buzzed, the space symbolizing hope. Passengers snapped photos, sharing the progress. Maya's team prepared for Hong Kong, where her keynote would announce the $600 million deal and SkyPulse acquisition. Social media hailed her as a trailblazer, with #JusticeForMaya posts inspiring global movements. Starwing's suspension remained, its future uncertain without radical change. 3 months post-incident, aviation had shifted. New regulations mandated bias reporting. Industry groups launched equity certifications. Maya's influence was seismic. Airlines feared her scrutiny. At LaGuardia, Gate 42A's construction hummed, its reveal weeks away. Starwing's planes sat idle, their brand tainted. Passengers shared stories, empowered by Maya's stand. Her team leaked more evidence, keeping pressure on Starwing's board to deliver promised reforms. Starwing's interim leadership pledged change, but Maya remained skeptical. "Words aren't enough," she told media. Her Hong Kong keynote was set to redefine her legacy, with SkyPulse's acquisition shaking markets. Passengers at LaGuardia thanked her, some tearfully. Airport staff, once hesitant, now nodded respectfully. The terminal's screens showed Starwing's stock flatlining, a stark reminder of Maya's power. The reckoning was far from over. 6 months later, Starwing relaunched, its first flight, New York to Hong Kong, symbolic. Captain Sofia Alvarez, the first Latina chief pilot, led the crew. Lead attendant Jamal Khan, once a whistleblower, returned under new management. The flight carried passengers who'd rallied for Maya, their presence a statement. Starwing's new policies emphasized inclusion, but Maya watched closely, ensuring promises held. The industry took note. At the relaunch, Morales spoke. "We've rebuilt Starwing to serve all." New training, oversight, and hiring practices were rolled out. Passengers boarded cautiously, some skeptical, others hopeful. Maya's team monitored, ready to call out backsliding. Social media buzzed with cautious optimism. #Starwing Reborn trending. LaGuardia's Gate 42A, now open, gleamed with inclusive design, a testament to Maya's impact. The industry watched, learning from her stand. Starwing's relaunch was a gamble. 260 planes back in service, 22,000 staff retrained. Costs soared, but Morales insisted, "Inclusion is our future." Passengers shared mixed reviews. Some praised the changes, others awaited proof. Maya's Hong Kong success, securing the $600 million deal in SkyPulse, cemented her as a titan. Starwing's competitors adopted her standards, fearing market backlash. The terminal's screens flashed. Aviation's new era begins. Passengers at Gate 42. A reflected on the journey. A young black woman said, "Maya gave us a voice." An elderly Asian man added, "I fly without fear now." Their stories, shared online, kept the movement alive. Maya's team pushed for federal oversight, ensuring lasting change. Starwing's stock crept up, but analysts warned, reform or perish. Maya's legacy was reshaping aviation, one gate at a time. Thornton never returned to aviation. Sources said he volunteered with minority youth, a quiet atonement. His era of exclusion was over. Starwing's new leadership leaned on Maya's data, implementing her recommendations. Passengers noticed changes: friendlier staff, fairer treatment. LaGuardia's renovated gate drew crowds, its design a model for airports. Maya's keynote video went viral, inspiring corporate accountability worldwide. Her stand had changed history. The industry felt Maya's ripple effect. Airlines globally adopted anti-bias training, fearing her scrutiny. Regulators tightened rules, citing Starwing's collapse. Passengers demanded transparency, empowered by #StarwingReckoning. Maya's team launched a watchdog group monitoring airlines. Gate 42A's opening drew media, its inclusive features praised. Starwing's relaunch showed promise, but Maya remained vigilant, her influence a constant pressure for progress. A year later, aviation was unrecognizable. Equity certifications were standard, bias data was public. Starwing's recovery was slow but steady, its culture shifting. Passengers shared positive experiences, crediting Maya. Her Skypulse acquisition made Horizon a transport giant, dwarfing Starwing. LaGuardia's Gate became a pilgrimage site, its story taught in business schools. Maya's stand proved one woman could redefine an industry. Passengers at LaGuardia shared stories of change. A Latina mother said, "My kids board without fear." A black businessman added, "Staff respect me now." Their voices, amplified online, sustained the movement. Maya's team pushed 4 global standards, citing Starwing's lessons. The terminal's screens showed industry headlines. Aviation embraces equity. Gate 42. A stood as a monument to Maya's courage, its legacy enduring. Starwing's new CEO, a former regulator, vowed permanence. "Maya's data guides us," he said. Passengers noticed fairer treatment, though some remained wary. Maya's watchdog group flagged issues, keeping airlines honest. Her Hong Kong success inspired corporate reforms beyond aviation. Social media hailed her as a hero. #JusticeForMaya post still trending. Gate E42. A's design was copied globally, a symbol of inclusion born from conflict. The industry's transformation was Maya's triumph. Airlines feared her influence, adopting her standards. Passengers felt empowered, their complaints now heard. Starwing's relaunch showed progress, but Maya's team stayed vigilant, ensuring accountability. LaGuardia's Gate drew visitors, its story a case study. Maya's legacy, sparked by one denied boarding, proved systemic change was possible. Her stand had rewritten aviation's rules, with Gate 42A as its origin. Passengers shared Gate 42A's story online, calling it Maya's Gate. Schools taught her stand as a lesson in justice. Starwing's stock stabilized, but its culture remained under scrutiny. Maya's Skypulse deal reshaped markets, her influence unmatched. The terminal's screens flashed. Aviation's equity era? Her team pushed for global laws, ensuring no airline could ignore bias. Maya's courage had changed the world. Thornton's volunteering grew, focusing on tech access for underserved youth. His past was a cautionary tale. Starwing's new policies drew praise, though Maya demanded more. Passengers felt safer, their voices valued. Gate 42. A's legacy spread, inspiring corporate accountability. Maya's Hong Kong keynote, now legendary, was studied in boardrooms. Her stand proved one woman's resolve could topple empires and build a fairer future. Airlines worldwide adopted equity standards, fearing Dr. Maya Carter's influence. United's bias review set a precedent. Delta's oversight board gained traction. Passengers demanded fairness, empowered by #StarwingReckoning. Maya's watchdog group monitored compliance, exposing lapses. LaGuardia's Gate 42A, now a global model, inspired inclusive airport designs. Starwing's recovery showed promise, but Maya's vigilance ensured accountability. Her stand had sparked a revolution, proving one voice could reshape an industry. New regulations mandated airlines track bias incidents with public reports. Industry certifications rewarded equitable service. Passengers felt safer, their voices heard. Starwing's new culture drew cautious praise, though Maya's team flagged issues. Gate 42. A's story went viral, taught in ethics courses. Maya's Skypulse acquisition made Horizon a titan, dwarfing Starwing. Her Hong Kong keynote inspired corporate reforms, cementing her as a global icon for justice. At LaGuardia, Gate 42. A drew visitors, its inclusive features, prayer rooms, diverse art, praised. Passengers shared stories. "I board without fear," said a black woman. Starwing's relaunch stabilized, but Maya demanded more. Her team pushed global laws, ensuring accountability. Terminal screens flashed. Aviation's equity era thrives. Maya's legacy, born from one denied boarding, proved systemic change was possible. Social media hailed her, #Justice for Maya enduring. Edward Thornton, retired, expanded his volunteering, teaching tech to minority youth. His past was a warning, his atonement a footnote. Starwing's new CEO leaned on Maya's data, embedding inclusion. Passengers noticed fairer treatment, though skeptics lingered. Gate 42. A's design spread globally, a symbol of change. Maya's watchdog group kept airlines honest, her influence unshakable. Her stand had rewritten aviation's future, starting at one gate. The industry's transformation was Maya's triumph. Airlines feared her scrutiny, adopting her standards. Passengers, once silenced, now spoke freely. Starwing's progress was real but fragile under Maya's watch. Gate 42. A became Maya's gate, its story legendary. Her Skypulse deal reshaped markets, her keynote a blueprint for reform. If this moved you, subscribe and share. One woman's courage changed aviation forever. Tell others to learn from her fight. Maya's legacy endured beyond Gate 42. A. Schools taught her stand. Corporations studied her keynote. Starwing's culture shifted, passengers safer. Thornton's volunteering grew, a quiet redemption. Maya's team ensured global oversight, her influence a constant force. LaGuardia's gate remained a beacon, its design universal. Starwing reckoning inspired movements, proving one denied boarding could spark justice. Subscribe to spread her story. Let's honor the woman who changed the skies. The saga of Dr. Maya Carter at LaGuardia's gate. 42A, where she faced blatant discrimination from Starwing Airlines, ignites a firestorm of justice that reshapes an industry. Two profound lessons emerge from her battle. First, resilience against injustice can topple empires. Maya, a 42-year-old black CEO, stood firm when denied her $5,000 first-class seat, her composure unshaken as security gripped her arm and racist slurs echoed. Her 25% stake in Starwing, wielding $4 billion in contract power, turned her stand into a wrecking ball, grounding 260 planes and costing $40 million daily. Her Hong Kong keynote, securing a $600 million deal, proved one voice can spark seismic change. Second, systemic change demands accountability, not apologies. Maya's evidence, hundreds of buried complaints, Thornton's emails mocking inclusion, forced Starwing's board to suspend their CEO and rebuild from scratch. Gate 42. A's transformation, with prayer rooms and diverse art, became a 1,500 square foot symbol of inclusion, inspiring airports nationwide. Passengers once silenced, now bored without fear, their stories trending under hashtag #StarWingReckoning, reaching 10 million views. Yet, Maya's vigilance, through her watchdog group, warns that promises mean nothing without action. Thornton's quiet volunteering with minority youth, a 180-degree shift from his elitist past, underscores that even the guilty can learn. This tale, born from a single denied boarding, screams that courage and accountability can rewrite history. If Maya's fight moves you, share it. Let her 6,000-strong Horizon Innovations legacy fuel your stand against bias. At 5 feet 4 inches tall, she stood taller than Starwing's 65-year-old Titan, proving justice isn't just a word, it's a revolution. Have you ever faced bias like Dr. Maya Carter did at Gate 42A, or witnessed injustice that sparked change? Share your story below, hit that like button, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more tales of courage that transform industries. Let's build a community demanding justice. Comment fairness and your city to join the #StarWingReckoning movement. Unlock more value with every video. Subscribe now.